fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming your way as always. And I tell you what, I think we're in for a fun night, boys. It's been a terrible week for weather, just absolutely blowing a gale for the last few days. But a great weekend, and particularly Friday was just absolutely fantastic out on the water. Lots of big fish, as you're going to see in Catch of the Week. But adds the cold and windy weather just really settled in this week, didn't it?
Is it not supposed to be getting warmer?
Yeah, I don't think we've had a day over 20 for a while.
It's a little bit average. Good way for Melbourne to celebrate a little bit of freedom, but that's all right.
And the freedom is here, Trelly. Is much changed up in the bush?
What do you mean? Is it something changed for starters?
Well,
running around fishing and shooting and just all that stuff we do up here.
You're going to say something else there.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, the big news is for Melbourne Metro is that the shops will open at midnight tonight. And I think even Chadstone's opening at midnight. If you want to go to Tackle World, we won't be open at midnight, I can tell you. But tomorrow, the boys get their lives back and they actually get to come to work, and it's a really great thing. So, and a whole lot of other restrictions are eased, and we can only really look forward now to the 8th of November, where we'll be able to travel to the regions.
That's when we're really going to feel it, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll ask you, because we've got to get through a few things. I'll ask you guys later, what's the one thing you want to do once 8th of November's over? So probably just stay doing what you're doing.
Do you know what he's going to say? What he did yesterday.
Get on the beers before the show. Now we have got the... I don't know if you can pick that up over there, but we have got the Get on the Beers stubby holders tonight, and quite a lot of people are jealous that we were able to get these during the day. So
special courier.
Yeah, no, we got them. We got them sent to us during the day. Get on the Beers, and I'm tipping. I got a few people that I think will be jealous of these. Neil Mitchell from 3AW would be jealous, I reckon. Michael O'Brien, the opposition leader, he'll be jealous of one of these boys.
Yeah, Jenny McCarkos, I reckon she'd want mine.
Jenny McCarkos would want one.
Well, Jeff Kennett.
Jeff Kennett would want one. He would want one of them for sure.
Jim from Jim's Everything.
Jim's Mowing. Jim would want one.
Dog wash, whatever. He's got Jim's taking over the world.
Absolutely.
He'll be frothing.
Peter Credlin will want one.
For sure.
Peter Credlin, of course she'd want one. She'll be sitting in the media thing tomorrow with one of these. You watch Peter Credlin, one of these.
She'll cut it up and wear it as a mask, I reckon.
Yeah.
Josh Frydenberg, he'd be in for one. Probably half.
Probably. Yeah. Karen from Brighton.
From Brighton.
She'll want one for each hand.
I reckon she would have. Karen from Brighton would have got on today online and had him sent up, because she lives in either Darwin or Queensland, I think.
No, she'll come back now.
Chris Eccles, he'd have to. He'd get it. What's that bloke at the men's? The men's had the men's thing. It was
Harry Hutchinson with a menswear shop.
Menswear shop.
I bet you he's selling them tomorrow.
No, he'd be selling.
Anyway, get on the beers. We are.
He'll have on a tie on a t-shirt.
All right, folks. Let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
We've got a longer list than that too, by the way. We'll get back to that when we get time. Have a look at this. What the best thing I reckon, boys, about snapper season is the amount of whiting around. So have a look at Cade Thornhill. Got out before school the other morning with his old man, King George whiting off the tyre bank. Well done, Cade.
Well done, Cade.
Ripper.
So, the bags of whiting have been pretty good for snapper season.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Of course it is snapper season, and I shouldn't take anything away from that. Let's head over to Port Phillip, because there's been some crackers. Mark Ellis, 82 centimetre snapper from Williamstown. Have a look at that.
That's good fish.
That's good fish.
Yep. Solid fish. Nice.
82 centimetres. What would that weigh?
Oh, I don't know.
It's hard to say with snapper.
12 kilo.
6 kilo. Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Sam P, also off Williamstown, 5.2 kilo.
So Williamstown's the place to be. That better feature in
Well,
hotspots.
it's probably a little bit warmer, you know, up that top end of the bay.
Yeah, it generally does fire a little bit earlier, St Kilda and places like that.
Yeah.
Nice fish, Sam.
Have a look at this one. Pete Henry sent this one in 9.5 kilo snapper off Mordiallic.
That's a
boy.
Now, this is, he said, you wouldn't believe it. This was on a Stratic 3000 with 12-pound mono on an old 3 kilo rated Shimano rod that I've had for 30 years and I refuse to sell it. Basically my fun pinky outfit. He fell to an unweighted squid leg about 15 centimetres long with a single 4.0 octopus hook. Unfortunately, it was way down inside, gut hooked, and he was, I can't say that word, he was stuffed when I finally landed him, and so was I. Otherwise, he would have released him, but good on you, Pete.
Fish,
I mean,
great fish.
We do like to see those big ones go back, but Pete, yeah, great catch, and
I would have kept it too, Pete.
great stories. I tell you what, the girls were out on the weekend too, and great to see Melina Burridge, 4.5 kilo off Seaford. Great fish.
Great fish.
Melina.
Nice fish. Good conditions, nice and flat.
Yeah, that would have been probably Friday, I reckon. It was pretty spectacular on
it is,
Friday,
yeah.
Unless you were at Patterson River Boat Ramp and the gates were closed and there was all sorts of trouble. But anyway, we'll get to that in Fisheries News.
Or you live more than 25 k's away from a boat ramp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Over at Werribee, the other side of the bay, Rachel Spiteri. Have a look at this 4.3 kilo snapper.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Rachel.
Fish.
Yep. Very
Good
good
looking, isn't it, that one?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Another one from Werribee, Anna Vasili. Have a look at this. Well done, Anna. Anna went out for a couple of days there and got quite a few
Smashed
snapper
them.
over the weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good start. Get that hump on the head. Little fish there.
Next one's topical, boys. Only because this young kid outfishes his old man all the time. But Max De Silva, have a look at this. Max De Silva.
Maxie.
A 42 centimetre brim on the Maribyrnong River.
Yes.
Under the bridge. If there was a slot limit, that one would be going back, wouldn't it?
Yep, 100%.
Probably went back anyway, knowing Max.
Yep.
But that's a decent size brim.
That's a great looking fish too.
Yeah.
It'll be yellow in the tail. Beautiful fish.
It wouldn't be the same if we didn't mention stonker trout, and of course they're widespread, and some news that more are going in this week. Lilydale Lake, have a look at this. Mick Harding, a beautiful stonker trout out of Lilydale Lake. Good looking fish.
Oh, yeah.
There's still a few of those stonkers getting around, isn't there?
Plenty.
Yeah, it's good.
Like the way you stand there, Mick, you're like proud as like
Yeah.
trophy fish.
Let's head down to Gippsland. Brett Geddes, he's
This
the
one gets me
man.
a little bit excited, Dave.
Yeah, I asked
bit
you
excited.
about the
A little
size of this fish, but Brett Geddes, 55 centimetre estuary perch on a plastic down at Port Albert. Do they get much bigger than that, Ads?
They do. They
Yep.
do get a bit bigger. You don't often see them caught. I'd suspect a lot of those, they'll definitely get over 60, but I reckon you'd either find them very close to the ocean.
Oh, really?
Or so deep in snags, even if it were a hook one, you ain't getting it. You wouldn't even see it.
Right.
Except if you're Brett Geddes, because he's got everything worked out down that way, hasn't he?
Oh, he just whispers them. He didn't even have a rod. He just stuck your hand in the water and they come up.
Handline. Handline. Yeah, awesome. Now, Brett did send us a report, actually. I should have mentioned that. The King. He's also saying down at Port Albert, the King George whiting are as thick as ever this spring from Port Albert right through to Welshpool. Average size is 38 and plenty over 40. Meanwhile, the lower Tambo just last week has plenty of brim 35 to 40 and flathead to 45 centimetres now showing up as well. Lake Tyers is a real hot spot for the last month, having been fishing nearly better than ever. That's a big call.
Yeah, that's
so many
awesome.
brim down there, 40 centimetres and flatted to 70 centimetres.
So good.
Absolutely brilliant.
So good. And Brett,
Excellent.
if you can keep sending us a report every week from Gippsland, that'd be brilliant.
And Brett sent this one in. Have a look at this photo. Bobby Sproul, been fishing a comp. A terrible wet weather down that way. And that's a cracking fish, 95 centimetres from out of Lake Tyers.
That's a
It's
ripper.
never too early to land a big frog out of
How
Lake
good is
Tyers,
that?
eh? Yeah, so that is good. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
Just had a message through that Greg Hunt would like one of these stubby holders too.
Right,
Greg.
just before we go to break too, just a quick shout out. Cam Dale Kerrigan Chapman also got a stonker during the week, but they got the photo to us just a little bit too late.
Okay.
I did. There's a little bit of a backstory to this. I did get a video sent. Remember we spoke about Jeff Chapman last week?
Yeah.
So
Has he
Jeff
had a haircut yet?
doesn't need one, mate. Doesn't need one. Jeff teaching Cam how to cast. And Cam was able to string a couple of casts together and caught a stonker. So
Oh, really?
Good on you, Cam.
Mitch Chapman would like a stubby hole. I reckon. Coming up next, fisheries news, including pics of lake tyres. It looks like it's about to open, and some great news on Gippsland Lake's brim. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
All right, plenty of news, boys, too. So.
I reckon Sam Newman would want a stubby holder.
Paul Murray just sent one through.
Where is he?
Paul Murray.
Yeah.
Sky
Got
News.
news.
Sam Newman, he'd be carrying one round on his next round of golf, wouldn't he?
100%.
Sam Newman had one of these, so it's all good. all in good fun. Don't
Hold
be
his
offended,
balls in
please, people. We are going to talk fishing tonight. Don't be offended. All right, let's kick it off. This is great news, I tell you what. The headline is Rocky Reefs Take Shape at St Helens, and if you remember this from a couple of weeks ago, we showed a diagram of what the Rocky Reefs were going to look like. So they're building these off St Helens in Geelong and also Kirk Point, and the VFA would like some help in naming the reefs. So you've got until the 4th of November to suggest the perfect name of these two reefs in the comments of their Facebook page. So get onto the VFA's Facebook page. You'll see the Rocky Reef story, and if you want to name them, just a hint, please keep them family friendly, and remember, Reefy McReefface doesn't count.
Oh, yes, it does.
Well, if you call them all the beers, then you could go on the beers.
Yeah, Beers Reef.
Because these are the ones that are within casting distance of
absolutely.
shore,
In fact,
aren't they?
we've got a photo of them if we can get that one up. Have a look. There you go.
Yep,
There's the thing, and
Yeah.
you can see the rocks all being placed, and then the mussels and the oysters and all that will go on top. So
Nice.
awesome work, VFA. Awesome work.
Beers Reef.
All right, the stonkers. This is the headline, more rainbow trout coming to metropolitan lakes. More families will have the chance to catch a fish of a lifetime in metropolitan Melbourne, with a further 500 stonker trout into lakes around Melbourne this week. Minister for Boating and Fishing, Melissa Horne, said following a positive response to the first round of fish stockings, 500 more stonkers were making their way to Melbourne's lakes. The latest round of lakes being stocked include Albert Park Lake, 90 fish, Carkrook, there you go, on your screen, Lilydale, Pakenham, Navan Park Lake and Spaven Lake. And so many people having fun.
That's been a massive success story. One of the few positives you can take out of this thing. You can travel 5 minutes around and catch a stonker.
Good in Albert Park Lake. The trout obviously survive in there to a certain degree.
Yeah, they'll probably only go through till summer.
Yeah, because it's only shallow at Albert Park, isn't it?
I suppose you've got plenty of shopping trolleys to swim around in.
Yeah, plenty to hide. A few big yellow belly to dodge.
Yeah, that's
few
right.
reefs.
There's cod in there too, isn't there?
I think so.
Yeah.
There'd be all sorts in there now.
So that's food.
Boys, Lake Tyers has been wanting to open for so long, and I actually don't know that it is going to open, but I've just been pointed out there's a live webcam from the caravan park, and this is a photo from 7:30 this morning, and you can see the surf and the lake and where they meet, and there's not much sand in between there.
No.
That sand is very, very deep, though. But
Yeah.
even just knowing that on a really good tide, a high tide, that the lake would be getting topped up from that ocean water coming over the sound of a high tide
absolutely,
is massive for that system. It is massive.
But with the water level being that high, it'd have to be getting up on the road near the pub, wouldn't it? I mean, it's pretty high.
Most
The boat
probably.
ramp would hardly be, the top of it would be underwater
they,
almost.
When the water was dropping, they actually blocked off. You used to be able, at the Glasshouse campground, you used to be able to launch your boat off the beach there.
Yeah.
But as it got lower and lower, they actually blocked it off because the four-wheel drives and stuff were just tearing up the beach. Not people doing the wrong thing, just you had to drive so far to get down to the water.
Yeah.
The water's up to that barricade.
Yeah.
It's insane. I've never seen it like that.
It's going to fish well this summer.
It's going to fish really well.
It's so good. All right, the next one, another good news story. I'll tell you what, there's some good news around at the moment. Good news for bream numbers in Gippsland Lakes is the headline. A survey of black bream spawning success in the Gippsland Lakes has recorded its second highest level of the last 10 years. These scientific surveys are done annually at 50 sites in the Gippsland Lakes to provide a time series of important information about the spawning success of key species, said Travis Dowling. The abundance of these small bream provides a snapshot of how successful the previous spawning season was and enables fisheries managers to predict the health of the fishery in years to come. Spawning variation from year to year is normal and influenced by environmental factors such as river flows and waterway health. However, the trend over the last 4 years is significantly better than the 6 years prior. Black bream take about 6 years to reach the minimum size of 28, which means this relatively strong pulse of small bream will enter the fishery legally in 26, 27. Oh yeah, okay, in 26, 27. Recreational fishers won't have to wait that long though, because the strongest spawning year of the last 10 years was in 2017, and those fish will enter the fishery in 2023, 24.
It's great news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great news.
So it pretty much says for the next 7 years, there's going to be some pretty good bream fishing down the
And
Gippsland
knowing
Lakes,
that
there's
there's no netting going on in there now as well, those
Yeah.
fish have a better chance than they've ever had to make it to 40
Yeah.
centimetres, even legal size.
Now, talk about teething problems. You would have to say, guys, that Friday was the first day. Obviously, we're out of the 5K limit lockdown. We're into 25 kilometre now, so a lot more people can go fishing.
Yeah, definitely.
And Friday was really the best, the first best day of weather in snapper season. Now, you feel for the people in Hastings because they can't go fishing because they don't have a boat ramp, and while they're progressing, they are weeks and weeks overdue, which is absolutely disgusting. But what happened at Patterson Lakes on Friday is just not right. And people were arriving there. Now, people get there at midnight, and they launch at 1, 2, 3 in the morning just to get out and beat the traffic. But people getting there from 5 o'clock onwards saw this sign as they drove into Launching Way. And I think we've got a photo of the sign, and we'll go through a few photos here. So that was taken a little bit later, but boat parking full, use Mordialloc or Frankston, right? Now, there's a couple of problems with this. Let's go to the next slide. That's the overflow car park.
Oh, it's locked, is it?
Yeah.
Closed.
So there's new traffic management people there.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have a key to the padlock, did they? I think there's 90 car parks behind that gate.
I'm sorry, Dave.
How does this happen?
Cut the bloody thing off.
Exactly. Why
A
didn't someone
padlock
get
is not
it?
expensive. Cut the thing off and let people in.
Yeah. So unbelievable. Keep going through the photos if we
Commissioner
can.
cut off.
There it is, a whole lot of empty space, but there's a sign that says go to Mordialloc or Frankston. Unbelievable that this happened. And
Which Mordialloc and Frankston at this current point in time are not viable options.
would you like to see what Mordialloc looked like at 6:20 in the morning? Let's go to the next one. Now, one of the things that's happened at Mordialloc is they've redone the lines on the road. So you used to be able to overtake. Now there's all these turning lanes. So you can see that queue of boats in the background there. They're actually blocking the road.
Because of the new line marking.
But it's full. Mordialloc's full.
Yeah. And if you've got a big boat, you can't launch a Mordialloc anyway because you won't fit under the bridge.
The traffic management people at Patterson Lakes are directing them to this.
Yeah.
What like boating was promised to be better under Better Boating Victoria. It is a bloody disaster.
Yeah.
So what we've got now, a disaster. Now, do you want to?
So what happens with Patterson Lakes?
Well, I don't know. Just one more slide though, if we can have a look. This is what Mordialloc was like in the afternoon. I know that some of those guys are at anchor, waiting to get there. So We absolutely have the worst boating conditions in years right now under Better Boating Victoria, and it's just not on. Absolutely not
on.
on.
Those blokes could probably do it in stubby holder. Get on the beers.
The traffic management guys would probably want one of these, wouldn't they? They'd be better off getting on the beers.
Yeah, especially those blokes at anchor. They'd want one.
Maybe they've already been on the beers for too long. That's why they can't open a padlock.
All right, got to get political now.
Go on.
Sorry, no, this has got to do with boating, and I disagree with this one. And so let's have a look. The BIA, which is the Boating Industry Association of Victoria, put out this media release. And the headline was, Boating Industry Rejects Andrews Government's Boating Bill in its current form. They say the Boating Industry Association of Victoria has rejected the state government's Marine Safety Act amendment in its current form, which is due for debate in Parliament this week. The BIAV has responded to overwhelming stakeholder alarm on the basis the bill does not fully deliver on the core aspect of the 2018 election. Have you heard the alarm going off? We've had, 400 people through the shop this week. Anyone mention it?
No, all I've heard is the phone ringing.
I'm calling BS on this, that there is a stakeholder alarm. I'm calling absolute BS. In the lead up to the November 2018 election, Premier Andrews stood before boating stakeholders and pledged that every cent of boaters' registration and licence fees will be returned to boaters to be spent on boating safety and facilities. This has been reaffirmed on numerous occasions by the Premier as well as consecutive ministers. And they still do, and they're still saying that's going to happen. There is no mechanism, they went on to say, no mechanism or wording in the actual amendment that guarantees the 31 mil fees collected from boaters will flow directly into the fund. It establishes a fund, however, with no guaranteed funding. This is not totally in line with a firm commitment made by the government, and stakeholders are incredibly angry. Well, we can't find one that's incredibly angry. That the cornerstone of the election commitment package has not been guaranteed. Now, I'll talk about the facts. Sorry, my next page.
Is that because it's not a statutory authority like the VFA?
No.
And there was some clause.
So, Trelly, I think what people would have loved is something set up the way the recreational fishing licence trust account is set up. In that it's absolutely hypothecated. So you buy your fishing licence. No one else is involved except the VFA, and it goes into a trust account.
Correct.
So what happens now with boat licence, boat rego, is it's collected by Vic Roads. There's number plates involved, there's registrations involved, there's licences involved through Vic Roads, and so it's way more complicated, and I can tell you, the government, both sides, do not do hypothecated funds anymore. They just don't. So here's the legislation, a couple of snippets out of it, and I won't take too much of your time on this one, but the Better Boating Fund pretty much says that all money that is appropriated by the Parliament for the purpose of the Better Boating Fund goes into it. And there's a couple of other points to that I haven't put up. But the key things here is that every year the Secretary to the Department of Transport must give the Minister a report for each financial year that says this: the total amount of money paid into the boating fund, the total amount of money paid out of the boating fund. So I say that's pretty transparent reporting. The total amount of fees received for registration, renewal and transfer of rego, and the granting, renewal and endorsement of marine licences. So they actually have to report how much money they collected from all that, match it with how much went into the fund, and then match it with what went out of the fund. I cannot understand. The BIA have got a bee in their bonnet that is absolutely wrong, because I'm telling you the punters aren't upset with it, and I just don't know. I mean, how the BIA can work with government going forward on boating. It's really disappointing.
The first report will tell.
Absolutely it will, and you've got to have a bit of trust in this government for 6 years, and don't confuse COVID with fishing and boating. Nearly $80 million has been pledged to fishing and boating, and it's absolutely fantastic what we're doing. So there you go. Anyway, we're getting the hurry along. Product of the week coming up next, and Cara takes us into the kitchen for fish and chips with a difference. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
talking fishing.
We went a little bit over on the last segment, so we'll roll straight into product of the week, and we are looking at a brand new rod, which has kind of been a bit of a theme to the start of our fishing season. We've seen a lot of brand new rods come in from various companies, but I want to introduce one to you that we've seen the technology before, but has now been reimagined in a lighter way, Dave. These are the new T-Curve. So T-Curve has been around for a very, very long time. It had a little bit of a break for a few years, and it's because behind the scenes they were working on something pretty special. So to give you the backstory on the T-Curve and the new, I guess, incarnation of it, in previous seasons, Therese has been one of the biggest names in fishing rods in Australia, whether it was in Melbourne for snapper or it was up north, making models that you could basically pitch baits at marlin with and handle it comfortably. What Shimano have done is taken the TC4 technology in the blank of a Therese. So this is the old Therese I'm talking about, not the new one, which has been taken to the Japanese
next level.
The Japanese style of making a blank. This is practically the old Therese blank designed for heavy application fishing, and it's been refined down to the lighter application. So trolly, there's a few bait casters in the range for yellow belly and cod and that sort of thing. I am noticing in bait casters too, rods are getting longer and longer. They're not 5'6" anymore. They're now pushing 6'6" and 7 foot.
There's an 8 foot bait caster.
Yeah,
8 foot swim bait.
Wow.
Yeah, swim bait rod, correct. So we're seeing insane technology designed for tackling marlin and heavier pelagics now being refined down to a cod rod. There's rods here that are as light as 2 to 4 kilo. So for what you're getting massive strength. Massive strength and durability, but you're also getting light enough tips that you can cast plastics a long way. Fantastic bite detection. They're running the new Fuji Fazlite guides on them. Basically, that means Fazlite guides and Fuji K guides, which are tangle-free guides, they're now becoming more affordable. A lot of people don't know that guides are very expensive. They add a lot of value to these rods.
On a rod.
They are. But Fuji are evolving with like everybody else. They've got an A+ quality guide that's not costing as much to produce, which means you're getting the quality which can go into rods like these. Tangle-free design.
I bet I could still tangle one.
Yeah, I bet you I could too. And so you've got the most up-to-date thing. Listen, this is, for me, it's solely a cosmetic thing, but with an EVA foregrip and a cork rear grip, it looks fantastic.
It's nice.
As far as a practical application, EVA, I love nothing more than a nice cork to holding, but EVA is a little bit more modern. It's a little bit more durable as well, so you get that there. But the rod I want to highlight is this 722 saltwater. So it's a 4 to 8 kilo rod, so it's a snapper rod for us essentially. But what I really love about it, it doesn't have a split grip. So Charlie, this becomes one of the most versatile rods you'll ever buy, because not only can you cast all day, it's light, it's got all the current technology. This is a little Sustain 4000 on it. When you're done with your plastic, there is nothing stopping you with this rod from popping on a pilly and leaving that in the rod holder.
And getting on the beers.
Getting on the beers. So you can leave that in the rod holder. I was quite impressed with these, and I've always had a bit of a soft spot for T-Curve. It was the first really good rod that I ever bought, a T-Curve, way back when, and I think they have done a fantastic job. Two-piece design, which join at the butt, so you're not losing any integrity through the rod, but it also becomes easy to travel with.
And you can travel with it better.
Correct. So that is the T-Curve. You can find them in your local tackle store now.
What about the Nano?
Do you know what? With
Nano's in this, I reckon.
Nano isn't gone.
No.
They're using it. They don't promote it anymore. It's just part of a fishing rod now.
By the way, ScoMo would love a stubby holder. We just had a phone call. ScoMo.
Yeah. Luke Darcy. Luke Darcy. You're going to get one too.
I tell you what. All right, it's time for cooking in the kitchen. Let's head to Cara and have a look at fish and chips for the difference.
A few requests come in, and the common theme is fish and chips. So today we're going to do a classic battered flathead tails with a little twist on how we're going to do our chips. Firstly, we're just going to coat our flathead in plain flour, and we will let that sit aside, and we will make a move on our potatoes. The twist on our chips is that we're going to parboil them in a double strength vinegar. It's going to give them a lovely bitiness at the end. So peel the potatoes, cut them into your chips, and we're just going to cover them with the vinegar, and we'll parboil these for 10 minutes. We don't want them to go too soft, because when we fry them off, that's going to finish them off and crisp them up nicely. For the batter, a cup of plain flour, and I prefer to use soda water rather than beer, purely for the fact that it's going to give it a lighter and crispier texture. 1 cup to 1.5, depending on the consistency. And I've also got a little salt mix. So I've got some dried herbs, just with some pink Himalayan salt. So in there, and then we'll just whisk that up and let it sit for a minute or so. We don't want to let it sit too long. And then we will coat our fish. The reason we've pre-floured it is so that the coating of the batter sticks nicely. Our chips are perfect. They're a little bit soft when you poke a knife through. Now we're just going to take them out of the vinegar and let them cool down for at least half an hour before we then deep fry these. Frying the fish, I am using sunflower oil. I prefer this oil. It is a lot lighter. It gets it to a hotter temperature, so it's going to be light and crispy, and it also doesn't have a strong flavour, so it's not going to take away from the fish. So we want this to be nice and hot, and I do like using a wok because you can control the temperature that little bit easier. Okay, so we're just going to coat our fish and drain him off a little bit. In we go. You'll know these are done because they'll be lovely and golden in colour. These have been in for 3 minutes, so we're just going to turn them over and let the other side crispen up as well. A further 2 minutes on the other side, and these flathead tails are looking absolutely delicious. So we'll take those out and just let them drain on some paper towel, and then we can pop the chips straight in here. The chips have cooled down, they're now at room temperature, so these can go in. So our chips have been frying off for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm going to drain them, and they're ready to serve. But there is no comparison between these homemade fish and chips and store-bought ones. Our flathead is gorgeous, it's light and crispy, and these chips are out of this world. The vinegar flavour has really absorbed. They're crunchy, they're delicious. Everyone's going to love these. So we're going to plate these in these fun little cups. Kids think this is a real special treat. These look delicious. A little bit of tartare. Amazing.
I tell you what, Cara needs to get on the beers. We are sending one of these to you, Cara, because
soda water business.
Soda water in the beer better. I tell you what. Get on the beers. Coming up next, Kramer's mailbag. Plenty more on Talking Fishing.
Smarter sauce too.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsling's Tackle World Kramer.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Oh, plenty of mailbag, boys, I tell you what.
I can imagine.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Yep, mail. Andrew Bolt, he might be in the mail for one of these. What do you reckon?
Oh, Andrew Bolt, yeah. Oh, I also got a message, Tony Tardio from 3AW would like one of the Get in the Beers stubby holders. So, long list tonight of people wanting them.
I know.
How do you actually get one? We should say that Fizz Fizz and Hop.
Fizz and Hop.
Fizzandhop.com.au. Get onto there. FIZZ and Hop.
Make beer great again. I reckon Donald Trump would want one.
We have our personal delivery driver that goes and picks them up for us. So, all right, Kramer's Mailbag. Let's get into it. Pat writes to us, "Hi Kramer, I've heard a million different opinions. Can you clear it up? Once you're on the water, are you allowed to go outside the 25-kilometre range?"
No.
No, you're not.
Well, that's if you're going to get caught.
Let's leave it there. Yeah. Says Trelly. Just say you know Trelly if you're outside.
Yeah. Get on the beers and go.
Hi Dave, this is from Sam. Don't get me started. They love that.
There we go.
We should bring that back one day.
Yeah, bring it back.
So I still can't go fishing. I can drive to my boat ramp, but if I launch my boat, I will be out of the 25-kilometre zone. Can you please ask Dan what medical reason? They said something. Can you? He's on the beers. Yeah. Can you please ask Dan what medical reason why I can't go fishing in my boat? Cheers, Sam. Sam, we are asking that question.
We wish we did have an answer.
I promise we're asking that question.
Go, I dare you.
Hi, this is from Jack. I would just like to express my frustration about the recent gating of the Werribee South rock wall. This is a ridiculous move. Now, I think we've got a photo of this. Let's, here we go. It is a spot I've fished for quite some time now, and for this to happen is really gut-wrenching. Just wondering if you could shed some more light. Thanks, from Jack Patterson. Well, Jack...
Let me guess, there's a loose rock and it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's right.
It wouldn't surprise me. But that actually looks quite permanent with concrete.
Looks awesome.
What, the gate?
No, not the gate.
The gate looks quite... we might have to pass that on to the Minister's office and find out about that. It's just another pier. You know, last week was Half Moon Bay. We believe Williamstown's still closed. There's plenty of piers and now rock walls.
Brighton still shut?
Brighton's still shut, yeah. This is from Shane. G'day, mate. Just thought of a name for trout instead of stonker, as you guys were talking about on the show Tuesday night. How about monster?
Oh, jeez, nailed it.
Too easy.
It's been weak.
Monster.
Anyway, that's it. That's a lot of complaints, but too many. If you'd like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
The bloke who suggested monsters on the beers tonight, I reckon. Get on the beers.
That's it.
Mate, on the beers. So, all right. We talked about this briefly last week. The Peninsula Snapper Challenge 2020 is on. Don't you worry about that. A bit of a slide up here to show everyone. 21st to the 29th of November. It runs for 9 days. There is a junior, open and kayak divisions, brought to you by Kringle Optical. It's a COVID-19 safe event. Facebook prize draw broadcast every competition day. Over 50 lucky draw prizes. Lucky draw prizes include Humminbird Marine Electronics, BLA Anchor Winch, premium Shimano Snapper outfits, Spotter sunglasses and heaps more. The top 5 longest fish will win a Spotter sunglasses pack. All only $40 entry for open and kayak, juniors under 16 free. Full event details at peninsulasnapperchallenge.com. Good on David Glennie and the boys down there for absolutely organising a great comp in a very, very difficult time. Now, 21st to 29th will be outside of the 25-kilometre limit will be finished.
That'll help.
As will regional travel. So anyone watching from the regional areas, like I know we get down to Ballarat, we get out to Morwell, places like that. If you want to come and fish the Peninsula Snapper Challenge, register peninsulasnapperchallenge.com.au. Great competition, and good to see that's happening. Boys, one of the things, we saw that big 9.5 kilo during Catch of the Week earlier on.
Yep.
I've got a few people. We had a Future Fish Foundation board meeting during the week, and quite a bit of discussion on extending slot limits into other species, and snapper came up. You know, and I mean, there's nothing that old mate could do about that.
Yeah.
But because it was gut hook, but you know, should we be thinking? You know, the snapper seasons have been a little bit ordinary. I mean, you see a lot of good fish, but you know, there was a few poor spawning years. Should the big ones be let go?
Yeah, I'm a massive advocate for slot limits, 100%.
Yeah, I think if the science sort of weighs that way.
Well, the science doesn't, Trelly. That's the thing.
Well, it shouldn't happen, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, where they come from, where they go.
Or Charlie, why can't you take a 1 metre long Murray cod out of Eildon? Because they don't breed there.
Well, they can only go up and down the river.
Yeah, but they don't.
A bit limited.
Yeah, but they don't. So Murray cod don't breed in Lake Eildon.
No.
So why can't you kill a 1 metre long? There's no use in protecting it.
Good point. I think it's like a trophy fish, but once you get that
size, the science says that you don't need to preserve them because there's a whole lot of others coming up through the system. So it's a good debate.
It is. It's a great debate, and it's an important discussion because my gut feeling is we probably will see more slot limits in the future. And like I said, I just think it's an intelligent way to still promote. That you can catch and cook because I think it's important.
A meat of cod doesn't taste any good either.
No.
Yeah. So, that's what I mean. So you can promote the take of the better sized fish to eat, but the science behind, I guess, without being a scientist or reading anything on it, the man science on a slot limit is the big fish produce the most eggs.
But yes, correct. But the pure reason that you can't take a Murray cod out of Lake Eildon that's outside the slot limit is purely social license, if you like, is that it doesn't look good, it doesn't taste good, so why should you do it? And I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as anglers agree to that.
Yeah.
So boys, just an update on the stats too, that that survey that Fisheries have got on the Gippsland Lakes, and one of the a few of the questions are around the bream slot limits and size limits. 4,000 people have responded so far. So if you haven't responded and I think you've got a few days left to do that. Get onto the VFA website or the VFA social media. Look at the Gippsland.
That's a great uptake.
Oh, fantastic! It's probably one of the strongest.
Well done to everybody for getting amongst it.
For it against, but
we don't know. But I was thinking, this is a moment of madness, but I was thinking of getting Dallas De Silva on to actually give us some on the show.
Yep.
Dallas has never appeared on the show. Now, he doesn't like doing TV, that's right. And he said he doesn't want to do TV.
I heard that too.
But I think we need to get him on because Dallas will be able to.
The first person on the new bar.
Yeah, we've got a little bar thing over in the corner there. Kevin puts that he puts it there every week.
In the dark.
Even though we've got no guests.
Yeah, in a dark
corner. I don't know, we can't get a shot of it. But anyway, but let's get Dallas on the show to give us the results of the Gippsland Lake survey.
It's a great discussion point.
Well done to
everybody for jumping
when he comes on, I'm going to wear my flannel shirt and bring him my fillet knife. It's okay.
Yeah.
Coming up next, the all-important hotspots. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron is a trailer boat and social club on Port Phillip Bay. The club has a great range of facilities, including multiple boat ramps, ample car and trailer parking, boat wash and fish cleaning, fishing competitions and boat safety lectures, boating activities and club events, a restaurant and 2 bars. Easy launch and retrieval makes for a relaxing time on the water for you, your family and friends to enjoy. And boating memberships are now available. The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, the best trailer boat experience on the bay.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots, brought to you by the Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
A couple of urgent things just coming through live now is that Dallas De Silva's actually in an Uber on his way to the studio. He's that keen. And
with a stubby holder.
And Anthony from Tackle World Sale. If you know Anthony, he'd love to get on the beers and get a stubby holder. So you had a few more, Charlie?
Yeah, I had Josh Frydenberg. I think
Josh would love one. He's a Victorian. He'd love a stubby holder.
He would, wouldn't he?
With Dan. And there's a few others.
Probably get it signed.
We mentioned Greg Hunt. We've got Greg Hunt, Chris Eccles, we mentioned him.
Rebecca Judd.
Rebecca Judd.
Candidate for another. Signing.
Oh dear. Where are we up to? Oh, hotspots.
That's right. Jesus.
I tell you what, you know what's going to go off? I reckon
stubby holders.
Yeah.
Stubby holders.
Well, we've got 2 really good days coming up, Thursday and Sunday.
Okay.
And Altona's going to go off. That's the number one hotspot this week.
Okay.
Altona is going to go off. Very close to Williamstown. In fact, there's no real border there, but Altona are 17 metres. Will go off this week. Absolutely. Warm water up there.
Well, and we'll tell you not next week, the week after.
Well, I shout out to the kayakers, don't go to 17 metres, too far. Just hang around that little reef that's at the front there, you'll smash them.
Another place that's going to go off, 15 metres.
I agree with this one.
Off Seaford. It's always excuse me, this time of year,
I agree with that one.
Seafit is going to go off in 15 minutes. If you can launch your boat at Patterson River, hopefully they've sorted out the key.
Take the angle
no, a few people have commented that they found the key at about 6:30 in the morning.
Don't need a key, just a pair of bolt cutters.
After
Cut it off.
35 boats were turned around and sent to Morty Alley. But I don't even know he's got 35 car parks.
That's right. Ask me about the padlock after this. Let's get through this.
All right, no worries. Over in Western Port, the Bolton Channel, it's going to go off this week. Yeah, people can get there from Warneet, Tooradin. Easy to get to within your 25 k's, unless you live in Altona.
Not St Kilda.
And this one I've heard, boys, Elizabeth Bluff.
Oh.
Where is that?
It's on a French island.
Sounds like you made that up.
Elizabeth, no, Elizabeth Bluff is near Elizabeth Island.
Yeah.
That's right. And out of Coronella.
What about Lola Blush?
No. Elizabeth would like to get on the beers, though. I reckon. Get a stubby old on the beers. Yeah.
The Queen would probably want one.
Now, I know a lot of people can't get to this place, but I'll tell you what, and I was going to ask you boys, I'll ask you this question after this, the Hauka River. Once you can get away up the Hauka River, I'm told there's some very, very nice brown trout. Good population this year.
Nice.
Obviously been a good spawning year, lots of browns up the Hauka, so get up to Mansfield and out the back there.
Be running
and lucky last, get to Lake Tyers before it opens up.
Just say yes.
Because it is on fire for dusky flathead. The comp up there, I think there's been over 70 flathead, and I'm talking big ones.
Yeah, nice.
Caught in the comp, so that's all good. Boys, when it's all over, Trelly, you probably don't give us stuff. But Ads, where are you going to head?
I'm going to give Brett Geddes a call and say, Brett,
how did you come to ship?
I'm bringing
Port Albert.
I don't care, just anywhere. I'd love to explore the Mitchell, the Nico, and the Tambo.
Yeah.
Because in the past, I've spent a lot of time in Gippy. I tend to drive straight over them on my way down to Bem. I'd love to explore that a little bit closer to home. Albert, yeah, definitely. But I think those those three big rivers.
I'm going to head to Mansfield.
Mansfield.
I'm dying to go to Mansfield for two reasons. One, I love fishing the Delatite River.
Yeah.
It's my favourite trout stream in the world.
Had some good times.
Playing tennis.
The other thing is, we do hold a fake competition called the Mansfield International Open. It's a tennis competition, and Trelly, I beat you in the first year.
Yeah, I know. I stretched a hammy.
Yeah, and I played your son in the Grand Slam, the grand final. Yeah. Played your son, he killed me.
Yeah. Yep.
And then last year, the Mansfield International, which actually drew some really, really talented players like Travis Dowling, the CEO of Fisheries. And I beat Travis. I took the tournament out.
I don't know.
Am I making that up? I don't know.
Did you catch a fish? Why don't you come back to ship and catch your second cod?
Because I love Mansfield.
Because you can't remember catching the first one. You got in that drunk.
Yeah. I don't know if you have tennis courts in Shepparton, do you?
Oh, we do, in the wheat paddock.
Tell us about the padlock, Ads.
Why is this time of year?
Yeah.
Could you just not get rid of that gate? Why? No, seriously.
Well, we could.
Why would the overflow car park be shut in the first place? Is there a benefit to shutting it? Just make it. It's a beautiful big facility.
Yeah.
Why would you close it?
Just take them.
I don't
But
understand.
I can't even imagine why.
Why does it need to be shut? Why does the overflow need to be shut?
Take the mosquito worm down there, the 3-inch mosquito worm, battery powered.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, I wasn't sure we'd have time for it, but I got up early this morning, that's why I look so tired, and I actually drove to Patterson Lakes.
Okay.
Because I'd heard reports that the traffic management guys were there every day, right? So, sure enough, I get there. I got there at 7:15 this morning, and the ute was in the car park, and it had all the signs, like that one that says close, go to Morty. It was in the back of the ute. Now, I couldn't find the driver, but I reckon he was there because they wouldn't have left the ute overnight. And I think what's happened is that they've got these guys there and said, you're traffic management, so you've got to be there. Now, there was not one launch today. Not one launch. It was blowing 30 knots out in the bay. Yeah. But they're there. And I liken it to when you go to the MCG on a football game, right? They probably have about 200 traffic wardens, so they're collecting the money. They're waving the cars like this. Yep. Then the other guy goes, like this. You can't come up there, bumper bar, up there, stop. All that. Are those 200 people there the next day when there's no game at the MCG? No. They're not, are they?
No.
Well, why the hell were they at Patterson? Why the? Why the hell were they at Patterson River this morning doing traffic management when there's no traffic? Like, you just got to look at Seabreeze, for God's sake.
I did hear as well on the weekend there was an issue with a lot of cars not towing, parking in the boat parking spaces.
Yeah, now there's 10
Which one am I on, this one?
Yeah.
Don't be that dude.
Well,
don't.
The thing is, though, there was 10 of them this morning, right? Because they were people fishing for bream.
Yeah.
Now, the
There's parks for them, though.
Can I also say that ramp 3 is out of action because there's an excavator there and a full fence built. This is this morning, built round ramp 3. So ramp 3 is closed, totally gated off because they're fixing a pier that apparently fell down months ago. And in the overflow car park, there is also a compound set up that would take away at least 15, maybe 20 cars for doing work on Melbourne water gates. So absolute disaster. And this is where Victoria needs desperately an authority to look after boating that is talking with other agencies saying, don't build a compound in snapper season.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't rebuild Hastings boat ramp during snapper season.
Yeah.
Don't close off ramp 3 during snapper season at Patterson Lakes, and actually be there
and get rid of the overflow gate at Patterson Lakes.
And get rid of the overflow. Do not have it
the
padlocked.
pies warm, otherwise there'll be a strike.
Yeah. I don't know where we're heading. I honestly don't know where we're heading with boating management in Victoria. It's spiraling.
Aren't they going to fix it? Weren't they going to fix it? You're onto it, Dave.
I don't know if they're going to fix it. We need the minister in here to probably ask a few hard questions because.
Melissa.
Anyway, there you go. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. Now, next Tuesday is Cup Day, so we won't be live in the studio. Instead, we're going to scrape the barrel and we're going to find some of the best stuff to show you next week. Until we see you again in 2 weeks' time, enjoy getting on the beers and stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.